Good morning. Welcome to Casa TexPina. We are on build day number 54. It's a muggy Monday morning again. Today we've got some new folks on site. We've got a couple electricians that are starting to lay out where the outlets and switches are going to go. So we'll be looking at those throughout the day. And then they are continuing in the above the great room, above the living room, with the support beams and floor joists for the attic floor. And they are wrapping up in the Jack and Jill bath, as well as the walk-in closet and lavatory for bedroom 2. They're working on the hollow block above the lintel beam, so they get up to roof beam level. That should be the last of the hollow block for a little while until they start working on the rooms around the attic. And we'll just have to watch and see where they're going today. So let's go ahead and get started. So we got a couple new guys on site today, like I mentioned earlier. I'll show you those in here in a little while. We are working above the bay window, as well as the remaining half of the Jack and Jill bath, putting the hollow block walls above the lintel beams, getting it up to roof beam level. So I would imagine that following the block construction, they will start working on those roof beams at some point. Let's go ahead and look and see where everybody else is at. Most of the people are in the living room area. Putting some additional braces for the support beams from underneath until they get them poured. And a couple gentlemen over here putting forms together for those beams and flooring. Above the kitchen area, they did pretty much wrap up most of the floor joists. They will start next with putting the plywood sheeting over the top of that, and then eventually start working the rebar for the flooring. As you can see through, you might be able to see through some of the scaffolding. We got a couple gentlemen in the back that are building forms. They'll be placed throughout the house. Okay, so let's see, I'll go show you the couple of electricians that we've got. And they are starting in the master bath and closet area. I'll need to get my plans out here shortly and get them started with the correct locations for those. All right, let's do a mid-morning walk around. Looks like up here the guys are still working the rebar for the support beams. Right now that's above the hallway half bath, which up for the attic space there will be another half bath as well. They are still continuing the hollow block in the front by the bay window. Almost done in that area. Working the hallway half bath, the bedroom number 2 bay window and the Jack and Jill bath. So they're working those two areas. Let's continue in through the front. Still working forms on the support beams for the attic floor slab. And the electricians are working on outlets going around the room. Engineer's brother-in-law brought by some supplies. We got conduit for the electrical throughout the house. They've got two sizes here. We got 20 millimeter on the bottom and a couple of bundles of the one up top. It says 32 millimeter. Take a look at these here. Let's see. Oh, a couple different sizes actually. So we got 20 millimeter and we got 25 and forgive me, this one's upside down. It says 32 millimeter thickness. All conduit. It's good. He also brought out a copy of the electrical layout for the engineer, for the electricians. So this is the ground floor power layout. And they'll be taking a look at that and using that to mark out where the where all the outlets are going to go. All right, so we're adding some additional stirrups to the columns. Continue walking around the rest of the building, see where we're at with construction. Still working on the Jack and Jill bath for the hollow block above the lintel beams. Still building forms on the support beams for the attic floor space. The site foreman was making spacers earlier. These will be used for the gap spaces underneath the rebar when they go to do the rebar for the floor slab in the attic. They'll put these underneath the rebar to make sure that there is spacing between the rebar and the sheeting that they're putting up underneath. So underneath that plywood sheeting. Still working on those. And then here in the master suite, we're using a grinder, putting in the conduit for the electrical outlets. So they're getting all chiseled out, put into place, and then they'll run the conduit around after it. Grind it, chip it out, put it back in, plaster over the top. Standard Philippine construction. All right, we're gonna wrap up on Casa TexPina build day number 54. The guys have already all left the site. We had the electricians on site, and the engineer also came out and started marking where most of the outlets are gonna go on the walls so that the electricians have an idea of where to start chipping out for the outlets and running the conduit, because they'll run the conduits in the wall and then they'll plaster back over the tops. Also, they have been continuing with the forms for the attic floor slab. Let's take a look real quick. So they're continuing with the bracing for the floor slab, and they are continuing with the forms around the remainders of the remainder of the cantilever beams, and they'll continue with those. The red marks you see on the walls are where the outlets are going to go, So we'll be looking at that probably the rest of this week. And they started here in the master. So you can see how they're already working on these. They chip out the hole where the outlet's going to go, and then they run the conduit subfloor, and then they'll have all the outlets ran subfloor before we build before we actually pour the floor down. So that's it for today. We did have electricians show up today. They'll be here the rest of the week. The plumbers will be showing up on Wednesday, and they'll be getting started with that as well. So a lot to look forward to this week, and I'll try my best to show you as we go along. So if you like today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button or the Casa TexPina star in the bottom right hand corner, and you'll be subscribed. If you'd like to be notified when our next video has been uploaded for your viewing pleasure, hit the bell icon just below the view screen right down there, and you'll be notified of the next upload. Until then, have a great afternoon, and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.